Welcome everybody! This is your host, Learbach, and you are just in time for another LEGO Bionicle MOC Showcase. So yeah, recently we've been looking at a lot of original characters, and because I have a hard time coming up with names, I thought, why not make some MOCs of pre-existing characters? And my first thought came to the Toa. Or not the Toa, the Turaga. Excuse me. I already made the Toa. So yeah. Right here we have the first half of the Turaga. We have Matau, Nuju, and Whenua, who I keep mistaking with Anawa for some reason. Probably because their names are so alike. Yeah. So we'll go through and look at each of them individually. So we'll start with but first of all, before we get to the individual, we'll start with the fact that all six of the Turaga that we'll be looking at use the same custom Matoran design. This is the design that uses two of these triangular pieces. Actually, let me see if I can get one out from my bin. Here we go. These triangular pieces use two of these stacked together with some half pin, half axle pieces stuck through to kind of help give them help connect them together. And then for the shoulders, we use one of these pieces. So yeah. And we'll use another half. Usually, I'll use another half pin in there to kind of solidify it. But lately, I've been running out of half pins, so I've been using other things like two length axle or even a 3-length axle if I can fit another part on the other side. We'll use a connector piece for here, and in the case of all the Turaga, we use the Matoran or Mata Nui head. We'll explain that little piece with Nuju there in a second when we get to him. Crap! I can't get the mask on with all this stuff in my hands. And then we'll usually just fill the body up. Do the limbs, the basic CCBS limbs. For the bottom of the Matoran/Turaga body, I use the Anika, Paraka, Toa Metru torso piece, and then CCBS legs. Because why mess with a good thing? Why mess something that's good? But yeah, got a little pretty in depth on the construction of the custom build. But for those of you who haven't seen it, that's the basic gist of it. So first off, we'll look at Nuju here. He's not light gray entirely. He's mostly just white with some translucent blues. I could not find any light gray CCBS armor pieces. At least not in the quantities I need them, or just if I did, they had decals and stuff, and I really don't feel like cleaning off the decals and stuff. I suppose I could have used some silver in there, because I did use the silver for his armor plate here. I could have helped hide it, but what do you get? That's just kind of thought to do it now. But I think he still turned out okay. The white armor, he's got some thicker, heavier armor to give him more of a snowy traveler build, not travel, but snow built. So he's got thick armor to help protect him against the elements. And then, as you may have noticed, this little weird back piece here where his brain stock is. This is just the design I came up with because I was running out of standard headstocks, so I had to resort to, I believe this is Kangu Mari's custom headstock. That's where it originally came from. It's kind of cut off, and they use that to kind of put a piece on him. I can't remember what it was. Like that's where his air tank was on the back of his head, which kind of weird. Whatever. And so I just messed around with a connector and whatever this weird piece is that I keep talking about. This is like on almost everything I have. This little weird piece. I just love it so much. But yeah, so I have that. Put a little connector and a pin and a axle in there to kind of lock them together, and there you go. Custom headpiece. Okay. And like I said, I put that in there mainly to thicken him out, thicken his head a little bit, make him look a little more like the others. But it also could work for Nuju in particular because Nuju is supposed to have like a weird way of talking, right? Like he says things that others don't really know how to understand. Like it takes certain people to kind of understand him. Like Matoro, for example. I believe it was Matoro who was his translator. Now, back when I was a kid, I didn't think much of that for him, but nowadays I think, well, maybe that means he's like, maybe autistic to some degree? I don't know. I just thought that'd be kind of a neat idea, because like, that is a thing with at least some autistic people, as you know, someone who's autistic himself, has some experience. Sometimes it can be a little hard to get what you need to say out to people. I mean, I know I make these videos seem professional, but trust me, this is nothing compared to what you see get cut out. Usually I'm on my third or fourth take by the time you actually see a real video. This case I happened to be on my first take, technically second take if you don't count the aborted intro, which I don't for this purpose. Yeah, so maybe like, he has a certain way of talking because he has trouble getting the words out. And again, maybe he's autistic. Nothing wrong with that at all. It certainly makes for a more interesting character than just, you know, quirky character flaw is quirky. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like at this point I'm not qualified at all to keep talking about that. But anyway, so yeah, going back to Nuju's MOC. Originally, he had all white armor, and I didn't like that. I wanted to give him something a little bit different, so I gave him some of the translucent blue. Just kind of make him look a little different. I don't really have much of a story reason for that. Just it's elemental ice, so it's probably used as a protective way to help protect him against the elements. His staff, pop that out real quick, is supposed to be reminiscent of his ice spear, ice pickaxe thing. I was originally going to try and do that, but I had trouble finding an item, a tool that looked the part enough, and trying to modify this to make it look like a pickaxe. I couldn't find anything. I couldn't figure out any way to make it look good for me. So yeah, he just has an ice spear from the Rakshi, and that's what he uses as a staff. So yeah, and the silver armor piece here is just kind of break up the white design, which I think actually works well with his light gray mask. Especially, kind of helps bring everything together without making his mask stand out as being like, oh, he's got a gray mask and nothing else. So I guess technically he's got his gray feet and gray hands, which also helps. Yeah, that also helps. I might also add having a bit of trouble finding light gray arm pieces, though. Big thing, though. I don't think they ever made. I think they made these in like 4 colors, 4 or 5 color. Like these particular pieces, I think they made in 5 colors. 3 of them are translucent. I could be imagining one of the translucent ones though in my head. They ever made a translucent purple one of these? I feel like they did I've never actually Stud.io has it listed. Whenua, who's actually very fun with this book. And then I changed the Whenua. Oh, I have to come up with a character. They actually used all the let me see if I can grab the Mata Nui masks, the black Whenua comments and I thought it would be kind of cool to have one of those that I realized they only ever made one of each mask. So yeah, and also I was working on other Turaga at the time. So yeah, aside from the arm here, what I could with the legs. I tried using the dark gray as much as possible. He doesn't have any dark gray armor. Dark gray armor doesn't really exist, but pearl dark gray does. So that's what I'm using for him. And I figured it still looked pretty good. And it does. I use silver hands or pearl light gray hands. Dark gray feet, because those are just what I happen to have. And yeah, not much to say. Oh, I used a Hero Factory foot piece for his body. Just because I didn't want to. I wanted to use different pieces. I want to try to make something different here. And I just now realized that's a dark blue. Whoops. Wrong color piece there for his waist. Oh well. Doesn't look too bad, honestly, and I went this long without noticing it. It doesn't, yeah. On the front end, you don't really see it, so it's good. It's all good. And for maybe noticing this wrench on the side here, that's this a Matoran tool he has. So Onokoro is clearly the mining tribe. They dig and dig. But I thought it would be also a neat idea if they are also the mechanics. Because, they build the machines to dig, they need to be able to maintain those things as well. So they also help maintain a lot of the machinery around Mata Nui, the island. It's weird that I have to specify. But yeah, so yeah. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and look at his staff real quick. A bit of a weird design. This is the first time I've combined it. Yeah, just like a drill staff with a working gear system inside. I was actually kind of proud of this, of getting this to work, even though it's like bare bones basic. The drill actually drills. I want to do a little more of a tip at the top, but I just also wanted to kind of finish the staff and move on to the next Turaga. Also, like trying to get pieces and wait for them and stuff. Like, I've already spent a few weeks just getting these guys ready and just trying to find time to record. So yeah, that's also why I don't put these up every week. It takes time for these things to get built in time for me to order parts in time, just to find time to do it. But yeah, so you put this little black piece here to give them some, just to fill them up a little bit, like, excuse me, just kind of give them, I mean, you saw it without it, it just kind of looks rather bare bones, so yeah, give them something to fill up. Back piece here to store weapons and items, which I just now realized didn't really have space for that for his staff. Okay, oh well. I think that's about all I need to say about Whenua. There's not a whole lot to say about him. We'll move on to Matau. Matau's actually the last of the Turaga I worked on, I believe. No, second to last. I almost forgot Whenua. Whenua took so long because I just had to order the mask for him and just had a hard time finding it at the time. But yeah, so we have Matau, who is sporting a giant axe instead of a small little buzzsaw axe. At this point, I was kind of just trying to find something that could fit with him, and I thought, you know what? Layla has an axe. Matau sort of has an axe. Let's give him an axe. And so he has an axe for a staff. As for the pieces, I wanted to change this piece here to green, but I was, again, as always, having trouble finding the pieces and the colors I want. So yeah, I had to work with what I have to work with. I want to do some more olive green for him, but at the same time, I'm not entirely certain how it would work for the legs. I think it would just have half the leg be have half the leg be olive green, the other half be a dark gray, would kind of stand out like a sore thumb, as opposed to being like, you know, green, dark green on light green, which stands out a little bit more because it's covered by the lime green armor. Which I guess it would still also be covered by the lime green armor too. Gave them these thicker armor pieces, these bigger size. Oh, they don't have a size. They don't have a number on them. I thought it'd look kind of cool. Give him something a little bit different. Just kind of shape his legs a little bit different, so like, you know, they aren't using the same kind of everything's on the front, so everything's on the side for him. So yeah, gave him a bit of a gear in here. Doesn't work. Just gets locked. It's locked in from his armor. I wanted to do a gear system in here that kind of made it look like he had a gear system going on, but I couldn't. None of the pieces I had would fit properly. This kind of kept causing problems, and ultimately, it just kind of didn't look as good as I wanted it to. So I stuck with just the one gear piece and decided, you know, we'll just leave the rest as is. At first I was a little concerned with the armor plate here, because they don't make this in lime green. It's just green, red, yellow, and silver, I believe. And I knew immediately I was going to use the green. Looking at it now in camera, especially, seeing how well it matches with his feet, I think it works. It's kind of like the same thing with Nuju, where it's like, yeah, his mask is off color to the rest of his body, but because he's got that silver piece in the center and the feet in his hands, it does kind of help bring everything together. And in this case, it's the same thing with Matau. It also doesn't help that he has the whole thing is green. I don't know if you can tell in here, but this armor plate here's got some paint on it that I've been trying to get off. This has been very difficult because it's in very small grooves, especially in here. I don't know what I was thinking painting this piece, and I could have just gotten a white or black piece and painted that instead, because they make bajillions of those and those are super cheap, but whatever. Past me is an idiot. But yeah, so that is Matau and Nuju and Whenua, for that matter. So this is the first half of the Turaga. Well, not much else I can really say about them. Except that, it's the Turaga. I cannot tell you what their mask powers are because I cannot remember for the life of me. I think Nuju's can translate text, or he has psychic powers. Whenua can see night vision, and Matau can control Rahi. I think. I cannot remember for the life of me because I never paid attention to Turaga as a kid. But yeah. So aside from that, obviously in my version, actually I think it's pretty obvious. Like their version, their powers are like diminished, right? Like they have very weak powers compared. Like Matau in his prime could probably have controlled several Rahi at once, whereas now he might only be able to control one. And Nuju might have trouble lifting a rock the size of his hand, let alone he could lift boulders before, And so in my canon, yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. Their powers have been greatly diminished over the years because they gave up a lot of their power to become the Turaga and reawaken the Matoran. So yeah. Other than that, I think that's everything. So I'll see you guys later. Perfect timing on my phone there.